Kate Floss and Sharon, and Kate Floss and Sharon from the Oreo team with the Maoripean team. And Sharon was just telling me that what we're saying is that your whakapapa, your family members, we are right here in front of you. You don't need to look across the water to ask where your family is, where your history is, where your lineages are, because we are right here in front of you. And what we're saying is that when you fight against us, you're fighting against your own family. You're fighting against your own ancestors. You're fighting against the people. You know, it's not bad. So Sharon has just told me Sharon has lately been researching her Anglo Saxon side. And what's the interesting news, Sharon?
Pardon?
What's the interesting news?
The interesting news is, looking on my mother's side, I am part Irish, part French. So the part Irish is the Barretts, the French is the thing, and then I found on my father's side the Spencers. I've yet to research the Spencers, but it's like great 4 generation grandparents before it gets to my grandfather, and he comes off that Spence line.
You know, this is the thing, is that we hear all these people raving on about the birth certificate. Now, the birth certificate has good things and it has bad things. Yes, it does. The birth certificate gives each and every one of us a native piece of land that belongs to us in our own right. And if you can trace yourself back to when the first birth certificate was created, that's where your piece of land is. Now, you can't take that piece of land. It's been sold. It's already been sold, and it's on some kind of a lease system. But that is where your roots to the earth belong, and it's through the birth certificate. If you delete or you eliminate or you remove your birth certificate, you actually remove your future descendants' ability to trace back the lines to you. And that is a very, very bad thing. You need them. And so that's why they gave every man, woman, and child on this earth a piece of earth, so that your descendants could always trace back the line to that piece, which keeps them in the matrix and plugged onto the earth. Once you get unplugged from that line, you are left floating in space. So that is a good thing about this. So that's why I'm pro birth certificate, even with its downsides. It also makes you, in my opinion, the owner of the corporation. And the problem is that we just have not known how to manage it. But don't worry, because we're learning that. Now, we've got a lot of good news to let Sharon know, all the good things of the wonderful things that we've been doing. So what I had done is I had the original cabinet manual, the cabinet manual of 2017. I wanted to discover, I'll go to the court cases in a minute. I wanted to discover where the original cabinet manual was what I was looking for. And I was really surprised to find out that the first cabinet manual was created by Prime Minister Muldoon. He created the first cabinet manual in 1979. And what happened in 1975? In 1974 is when the New Zealand Maori Queen and Manuka Hanari went to visit the Pope, and they made the decision that they no longer wanted to be subjects of the Queen. and they had protested. The Waitangi Tribunal opened, and all of this process of divorcing from your own family members has occurred, and it has caused mayhem. It's caused absolute mayhem for our people, for all of our people, and for our country. And what it's done is opened up our country for nefarious third, fourth, and fifth parties to come into our country and cause trouble and destroy all that we have built together. So Muldoon brought in the 1688, the Bill of Rights 1688, and the imperial laws. He put them within the Cabinet Manual, and it was called the Cabinet Office Manual. So then we had read the Cabinet Manual, we had seen the 1688 in it, and we had also seen Prime Minister Muldoon's preamble to why we needed it, and we saw the 1688 and the 1852. When we went back later, we have discovered, me and Maxie have discovered, that it seems to have disappeared. So I thought to myself, right, I'll just go and Google. I'll go to the NZLI. I'm sure to find the Cabinet Office Manual in its original version. And lo and behold, it wasn't there. But I did find this piece here, and I was very shocked. Oh, can you see this? Wait a minute, I'll share the screen. There you go. Right, can you see that there, Sharon?
Yes, sir.
Can you see that?
Yes, I can. I can see.
It's quite hard to see. All right, but or I haven't opened up my I can't really move it. But what it says on there, it says here, this is a restricted document. Why would you restrict and it was done? Do you know when it was done? So we are presently in the year 2023, and this document was created, the first Cabinet Office Manual, bringing our constitutional laws into New Zealand, and ordering the Parliament of the way that they were supposed to govern. It was put into Parliament on the 23rd of January in 1979. I know, the numbers. And then that's been restricted. It's like, why has it been restricted, right? And then it looks like it's been hidden because here somebody's written in pen proof. The proof that the Cabinet Office Manual of Prime Minister Muldoon existed. And I can't show it on here because I'm not able to roll it up, but it's actually signed by him, and it's got Muldoon, and it says here, now this is the forward that me and Maxie thought that we'd seen, and we also saw his signature and his name. That seems to be gone. But we're not sure if we're mistaken or not, but it says, it is timely that nearly 30 years after the late Sir Sidney Holland issued his directive to the Secretary of the Cabinet, all the law, L-O-R-E, all the law, L-O-R-E, of the Cabinet system should be consolidated. So they were to take all our L-O-R-E law, consolidate it, and put it into a Cabinet Manual for them to follow. There you have it, Sharon. And then he says, this manual, yes, this manual has done that. And I commend it to ministers and departments. It will be useful to them in observing and setting the highest standards for the orderly and efficient conduct of the government's business. So when they're conducting, so Muldoon must have known that it was going to transfer to the corporation which is run by the New Zealand iwi, which are the chiefs of the Maori tribes, run this corporation. The Anglo people do not own this corporation. It's owned by the New Zealand highest native chiefs. But the Anglo people own the governance, and they have not been governing according to the LORE. It's right there, Sharon. So then I said to myself, yeah, it's right there, LORE law. It's there.
Yeah.
So, and then I think there were I thought there were 3 pieces, but no, there's only 2. So anyway, so I decided to write a letter to the Office of the Cabinet Manual. I didn't actually know that there was an Office of the Cabinet Manual, and but apparently there is. So I just decided I wrote it on the fly, and I wrote it off the top of my head, and I wasn't really thinking because I wasn't expecting a reply, all right? So I wrote this letter here, Sharon, and I just was not expecting any reply whatsoever. So I said, "Dear Sir, Madam, I see the original 1979 Cabinet Office Manual instituted by Robert Muldoon seems to be restricted. Is it possible to get access to the 1979 Cabinet Manual? I may be mistaken, but I thought that the 2017 had Prime Minister Muldoon's forward and his signature." That's the one that I just showed you. And then I asked the question, has it been removed at some point? And then I said, if it is not possible to access the 1979 Cabinet Office Manual, what would be the reason for that? That's signed from me, Catherine Ann Sixtus. Kate Floss is my stage name for my stardom, and Catherine Ann Sixtus is my legal name that I use for making my orders to the government and telling them how they're supposed to run things according to the people of the LORE that have said. So then I got a letter immediately back from them, and it said, it says, "Thank you for emailing the Department of the Prime Minister and Cabinet," which I didn't even know that it was the Department of the Prime Minister, "and including the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA." Well, that's America. "And we will be closed from the 7th till the 10th. And then they said, if your correspondence is intended for the Prime Minister, please email his office at Chris Hipkins." But I thought that they would have been able to answer it without going to the Prime Minister. So I didn't hear anything from them. So I sent them on the 16th. I said, "Dear Sir, Madam, may I remind you of the email that I sent on the 9th of April and the reply, and the office would be closed until the 10th. It's now the 16th. Would it be possible to reply to my email now?" And I reposted the email, and I did get another letter, and it was just an automatic reply. And they just said, "Thanks for replying," right? And they said, "You can contact the Prime Minister if you want to," and all of that. So I thought, well, obviously they're not going to answer me. So I thought to myself, I will write a letter to the Prime Minister. But before I could even do it, Sharon, look at the surprise. I got an unclassified letter from the Prime Minister's office. It says, "Kia ora. Thank you for your inquiry requesting a copy of the 1979 Cabinet Manual. Your request is being managed by the Cabinet Office, and we are currently reviewing our records and will be in touch shortly." How the heck can you lose a Cabinet Manual? It's not possible. There's only been 2, Sharon.
Yes.
There's only been 2.
Yes, there's only yes.
So I didn't.
And what's with all the toing and froing?
Hey? Yeah, but then,
What's with all?
well, I thought, right, I'll just wait to see. I was waiting. They said, we'll be in touch. And then I got a nice letter today. I haven't even called them or anything. And so then I got another nice letter today. Dear Kiora, Kate, they've been calling me Caitlin. I have to send them a message and say it's Catherine. Apologies for the delay in response. Your email has been forwarded to the Cabinet Office to their attention. So they've given me an apology about being a little bit slow, and they said we're going to give your email some attention, but they don't know how to spell to because they've spelled it F-O. So I don't know about their typing skills. But anyway, isn't that wonderful? So they've sent it directly to the Cabinet Office, and we're going to be waiting for their reply. So that's to get the Cabinet Manual. But the thing that I want to reiterate here is that you can see it there as large as life. You can see it there as large as life.
Yep.
That, oh, look, you can see the bottom bit. Oh, look. Oh, I can move this around. Look, Sharon. Oh, there you see. You can,
wow.
yes, and then if I, oh, wait, hang on. Hang on, I'll just take it out of here. Oh, now I know what to do. All right, hang on. I didn't know what to. So here we go. I can follow this one. So here you go. Now look at this, Sharon.
The signature.
It says it right there. Law.
Yep. L-O-R-E.
L-O-R-E. The Cabinet is supposed to follow our common law, L-O-R-E. But actually, if you go and look in the Cabinet Manual, it has the 1688 Will and Mary and the 1701 Imperial Laws, and that's been removed, and this has been removed as well. But you can see here that they are supposed to govern us under the common law. And part of the common law is that we can go to the court and call them to the Parliament. So I've asked for the full version of that, and that's one of the newses that we'll be waiting for them to get back, Sharon. Right. The next one I've got.
Where did you find that one, Kate?
What one?
Where did you find that one?
That one you can just, I just Googled 1979 Cabinet. You have to, it's not called the Cabinet Manual. It's called Cabinet Office Manual. So it's got a different name. And when they wrote the new one, they gave it a new name, and they took some of his things out that were not supposed to be taken out. And so you can go and look, but I haven't been able to find it. You can try and find, I didn't really hunt around. You can only get New Zealand's Cabinet Manual. You can get the Cabinet Manual, but I haven't been able to get his, but only that I did find this in the Tiara, and then what I found from them is that it said restricted, and then it says, so it says restricted, and then it said here proof, the proof that it exists. Or I don't know if it means proof that it exists, or I'm not quite sure what it means. But but I do, and it does have a copy. It did have copy number, and there's no number. So this must be the original first version, but the rest of it has been restricted. So why have they restricted it? So what they hiding? So I have asked for it, and so I'm going to so I'm going to be waiting for the Cabinet Office. So that's where we are with that. Now, we're just going to show the progress of everything that we've achieved so far in all of the things that we're doing, Sharon, which is a lot of stuff. So then also off of that, we've got our Sixtus Versadern. Now, we've got the Sixtus Versadern case. Why is that showing there? All right, I have to redo that. All right. So the Sixtus Versadern case, I should be able to do that actually. Oh, it doesn't. What if I do that? What if I turn off that? And I do that. Windows. Oh, I've got to go to there. Right, and then if I put... Oh, it doesn't. You've got to reshare it every time. Oh, okay. Have you been able to see the Muldoon bit? That you saw that, right?
Yes, I saw it. I saw it.
It's
quite interesting.
Yeah. So there's our cases. Now, the Sixtus... The Sixtus Versadern case was deemed abandoned. So when it was deemed abandoned, I had protested the abandonment, and they have sent me back the letter today, and I have not opened it yet. So we're going to be opening it with Sharon, but I'm really scared, but I'm not expecting to win. So we've got our Supreme Court case with Justice Brown, and that is not abandoned. Even if we lose that case to be abandoned, we have not lost our Justice Brown case, because they said that we could go back at any time and ask for the extension. So they maybe think it's so. This one, it was in this one here that we had the 4 prayers, and we know that through the Weather Act, we know that the second prayer and the 4th prayer has been answered. So the 4th prayer was answered and the second prayer was answered, but the 3rd prayer has not been answered. And we also have not had a declaration, which is what we wanted, to swear ourselves majesties of the king. So we haven't had that. Now when we went to the Supreme Court, and since we did not automatically file in the Supreme Court, we had entered our submissions, but we had said we're not ready to go in just yet, but we are going to be coming in. Then I immediately got a letter from the appeals court saying that the first case had been deemed abandoned. And so and then I appealed that. So I think I've got a ruling on that today, I think. So, but before we go there, I still will continue to show you the good news. So from that case, even if it's abandoned, the things that we've achieved, the Weather Act, as a result of that court case, the Weather Act came out, and it said that the Governor-General and all ministers and all Maori entities. Now, the reason why we were pleased about this one is because it put any other body, meaning any entity or other body who is not New Zealand Maori, incorporated or unincorporated, comprising, representing, or a collective group whose members are one or more, they are under Section 11, which means that they cannot grant an exemption from or modify a requirement or a restriction imposed by the Bill of Rights 1688. So they're all under it right there. They've been told.
Yep.
So we have forced the
Yep.
beast to kneel. And the fact of the matter is, even if they repeal this act, it's not even going to matter, because the Bill of Rights 1688 stands as it has stood since 1840 in our laws. It has been in our laws since 1840, and even if they repeal the Weather Act, we will retain this as proof that it has been ascended at one point, and as long as this Bill of Rights still exists, then they still cannot modify or change any restrictions imposed by it. So that is the proof that we were asking for. We were asking them to show us that this is still of service to us. So we've got that, right? So that's the next bit. Then, now, there's, I've missed a wee bit here. Right, that's on the Maoripeans, isn't it? Right, wait till I just find it for you. And I'm going to go to my Maoripeans with the time, 6:50. Thanks, Sharon, for sitting with me.
It's fine, Kate. It's okay. That was good news. Very constructive.
Yeah, we
Very.
you know, I ain't messing around here. I might do my singing, and I might look like I'm messing around, but I'm telling you something. I ain't messing around. You know, I'm here to make a difference for us and keep our families together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see this divorce go through. I think that we've been through too much together. Our ancestors have been through too much together. And
I'd say.
And it's important that that we don't let out, we keep it together, you know. Now what we've got here,
definitely.
What we've got here was this man here. I think his name's called Bryce Smith, and I'll show you a little bit.
Commented about these.
So I'm not going to play the video, but you can go and have a look. It's called the Pākehā Census 2023. Yeah. And then he made an announcement. He said that if you can trace your ancestry back to between 1769 and 1852, there is a window after this time before the immigration law came. So that line is extended. You are a Pākehā. Once you learn your pepeha, you are the tangata whenua of this land, and you can enjoy the same rights as New Zealand Maori. So he has said, you will, wherever your ship, he said, wherever your ship landed, that is the, can you see this? Oh no, I'm on the wrong place. Oh, damn it.
I can. Oh.
No, I've changed it.
Yeah.
Right, here, this one here, Sharon.
Yep.
Right, so this is Bryce here.
Status of Pākehā giving genuine status to a group of people that reside here in Aotearoa. That's included in the link. If you can take your time and look at that, there has been quite a significant contingent of people who have lobbied the government.
Can't hear it.
Oh, you can't hear it? Oh, never mind. You don't need to. You can go and watch it. So it's called the Pākehā Census 2023. Yep. It's from the KEO office, and it's talking about Aotearoa, which is not our thing. But what he has said is if you can trace your ancestry back, there is a window of after this time before the immigration law came in. So pre-1852, as you know, in 1843, the St. Pauli ship arrived in New Zealand, and they made those people on that ship, they severed their nationality, they made them subjects under the Queen, and then they opened this, in exactly that time, they opened the Supreme Court, and they ascended those people of the St. Pauli into the Supreme Court to create the constitutional law, LORE, of the 1688. That's how they did it. They elevated it because they weren't able to do it with New Zealand Maori, because you didn't have a nationality, because you didn't have a country just yet. So they needed a group of people that were not subjects of Britain, not already subjects. And they needed children, which was my great-great-great-grandfather. They severed their nationality, and then they made them subjects before they stepped foot on shore, and then they plugged them into the Supreme Court, and that's where all your land courts and your Waitangi Tribunal and your land courts and all your laws come from that event that occurred at that time.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying we are your family, not that United Nations. We truly are your family. And so then he said, wherever the ship arrived, now not all the ships did this. This was specific to only the St. Pauli ship and a couple of ships that came before that in 1841. There's only about 4 ships.
Yeah.
I think it's the first 4 ships that came after 1840. But there's something there. I still don't have all the information. Now, he said, wherever your ship arrived, that is the tribe that you will be absorbed into, and you will have your own mountain. You'll be on the 10 waters that they want to have. You'll be able to go to the Waitangi Tribunal.
Yeah.
So I said to myself, right, I'm going to give this a try, and I'm going to go and get into that Waitangi Tribunal, Sharon. And so there.
I'm here.
Yeah, and what does it say? Oh, you won't be able to see. Hang on, Sharon. Here comes the surprise. And there's Kate Floss, but they're calling me Caitlin. Now, it's interesting that they keep calling me Caitlin because I wrote to them a letter. It comes up there, Caitlin Waterman. I've tried to change it. Why doesn't it change? Because I went to update your profile, right?
Yes. Yes.
And then I made it Catherine and Sixtus there. So why doesn't it come up?
Yeah.
So I've changed it, but it doesn't come up that I've changed it.
Well, perhaps you should take off the Waterman.
Oh, really?
You got to edit. See where it says edit?
Yeah, all right. No, but all right. Yeah, look, because look, I'll take off the Waterman, right?
Yeah.
Then you've got to write in the numbers.
Yeah.
6 W
Yes.
K L
Okay. L
5 S, and then I save. So that should be correct, right? And then
Yep.
let's take it down for a minute. How do I get out now? Oh, But then it doesn't change here.
So
It comes
it's
up
weird.
here as Caitlin Waterman.
Well, that's the one you sent this morning.
Yeah.
So any other letters that you change that you spell would be sisters.
No, it doesn't. It just keeps coming up that. But anyway, they've called me Caitlin. I have to write to them and let them know. So anyway, I said, good morning. My family arrived on the St. Pauli ship to New Zealand on the 14th day of June, 1843. In March 2023, the member of the KEO office, Bryce Smith, made the announcement on YouTube that any Anglo Saxon people whose ancestors came on the ship 1769 to 1852, such people may enjoy the same rights as New Zealand Maori and would be considered as tangata whenua of the land. He writes, and then I wrote exactly what he wrote, and then I said, I would like to know if this issue would be recognised at the Waitangi Tribunal, specifically because currently only a New Zealand Maori is permitted to enter the Waitangi Tribunal with their grievances. Does the Waitangi Tribunal recognise Anglo-Saxon people descended pre-1852 as also being tangata whenua of this land and therefore deemed to be a New Zealand Maori? So I thought I would just get a letter saying you can't, but I got a lovely letter from the Waitangi Tribunal who have said, I have forwarded your email to our registrars who will be able to assist you with this request. So far I have not heard from them, but it's only been a couple of days and they're probably having a talk about it. So let's see, I'm already in the Waitangi Tribunal, Sharon. I'm already in there.
Yes, you are.
I am the first Pākehā.
So exciting.
It is.
That's exciting.
It is. The first Pākehā to enter.
I can't wait for the response.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter if they say yes or no, but even if they say no, then we will know that what this man Bryce Smith was saying is false. And we might even be able to take it to challenge in the proper court. We might be able to.
Yeah.
So whatever letter they give us, it really doesn't matter. We have been acknowledged and we have been accepted at the first Pākehā, the first Anglo Saxon since the Waitangi Tribunal opened in 1975. How many years is that? 50 years. In 50 years, Kate Floss, the first Anglo Saxon to enter the Waitangi Tribunal with not really a complaint, but a request for information about my family lines and what my status is in the country of New Zealand. So this is going to be huge.
Yep.
So that's what we've done there, Sharon.
It's going to be
Haven't we done?
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
So we've done that. Now, Sharon. Oh, Sharon, we're going to go and open this verdict. Oh, I'm too scared to open the fucking thing. I shouldn't.
Open it. Open it.
Oh, my God. I don't want to open it, but...
Just being on the NZLII is something, Kate. I mean, we're the first ones on that NZLLI, so why else is put up for information for theirs and that, and nobody else's case is theirs?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm so nervous. Probably going to lose, Sharon, but at least we got up on the NZLII, and we've got letters from the Prime Minister's office, and we're in the Waitangi Tribunal. So we've
So
done a
none
lot.
of it is a loss.
No, it's not a loss. It's always a win. But
Ah.
boy, right, here we go. Court of Appeal, Sharon.
Court of Appeals.
Court of Appeal. What does it say? Dear parties, a judgment for the review of a registrar's decision will be delivered through the registry tomorrow. Oh, it's not out yet! Wednesday, 19th of April, 2023 at 2 p.m.
Talking about tomorrow.
Sharon, at the Court of Appeal Registry, Wellington, counsel are not required to be present. The electronic copy of the judgment will be emailed to each party on the email. Oh, my heart, Sharon, my heart. So they've brought in a verdict. They're going to either, and that's from Jenna McKenzie, that's from the Court of Appeal. And so it's been sent to Crown Law Peter Gunn and one other. Who's the one other? Oh, it's been sent to Rebecca McMenamin.
Yes.
Well, why would it be sent? Because she's left the case. But if the ruling was if the court hearing was to continue, Rebecca would have to come because she's the lawyer in the case. And they never usually put Rebecca. This is the first time ever. Now, Rebecca.
Wow.
So Rebecca. Oh, Sharon, this is great. Now you see, Rebecca. Hang on. Make sure I get the right one. Right. So Peter Gunn was the Crown lawyer, and Rebecca McMenamin were both. Peter Gunn and Rebecca, or I better post his money tomorrow. Peter Gunn and Rebecca were both the lawyers in the case, and then Peter Gunn and Rebecca had said, they said that we were unintelligible. They said that they said that I was unintelligible, and so they didn't want to look at my case. They didn't think that I was worthy, and they didn't think that my case was worthy. And then we went to appeals court, and appeals court said, well, this case is going to court, and if you don't come, we're going to have it with or without you. And so then they tried to charge me $10,000, didn't they, Sharon? Well, I have had letters. Yes, they did. And I've had letters from the Court of Appeal. I'll see if I can find one for you. So I'll go to my inbox. And then I've had letters like, let's see. Well, you can't see that anyway, can you? All right, that's okay. So I can just do it here. So let's see. I'll try and find one from J.C. McGrath. So here is a letter from J.C. McGrath. So what you'll see on J.C. McGrath, you will see that they only send it to Peter Gunn. And they never send it to Rebecca. Never. So previously they did, but she left the case. And after she left the case, we only ever CC'd it to Peter Gunn because she had left the case. Now, it may be a type error that they've come in with that, but it may be just a type error that they've come in with that, but now I don't want to get excited though. It's best not to get excited, isn't it? Can you see that?
I don't care. I'm still excited. Yes, I do.
That's not. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hang on.
No, that's all right.
Yeah, that's the right one.
April,
Yeah, that's the right one there. Yeah, Sharon. So that's right, Sharon. So there you go. So they've sent the letter, and they've sent it to. They've sent the letter. So this is the notification of the judgment delivery. 306, Catherine Sextus, Jacinda of Dern, Chris Farfoy, Ashley Little, Ashley Bloomfield, Andrew Little. Judgment for the review of the registrar's decision will be delivered through the registry tomorrow, Wednesday the 19th. Now, I'm not sure if this is talking about the registrar's decision to abandon the appeal or the registrar's decision to order me to pay. So yeah, because we've got one going. We've got Judge Brown in the Supreme Court, and then we've got and it might be that they've sideswiped us here because the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court had given a ruling on fees, and it might be that based on that ruling that they have agreed with Justice McGrath's first ruling. So then I would have to still go in and battle. So there's a whole lot of roads that this could go down. So if that were the case, then I would have to go and battle that. I'd still have to go and battle Judge Brown. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Or but also the appeal was deemed abandoned, and I had appealed against the abandonment. So I'm not quite sure what they're going to be, what it's going to be about. But we'll just
find out Wednesday.
Right, we will, and we'll just be hopeful. And what will be is we'll just, you know, what we're just going to be, Sharon, is we're going to be just grateful. We're going to be just grateful that we've come so far and we've achieved so much.
Yes.
We did manage to get
We certainly have.
We have, Sharon.
We got our 1688, Kate. We got our 1688 out there.
Yeah.
Winston Peters brought it out again.
Yes.
Now it's come out in the weather hole.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah. So you can't ask for, and then we've got five write-ups in the New Zealand Law Society, Law Institute. And well, we'll just say to our people that no offence to Sue Gray, but Sue Gray's been a lawyer for 30 years and she does not have a single write-up in the NZLII. So I don't know why that is, but we have had 5 up there, and they've put my family and my name with Jacinda Ardern as being an opposer to this tyrannical government. They've put it right there with my ancestors, which were the 1844 German settlers that were the people that were very first plugged in to the Supreme Court. And we did Yeah, and we
Mhm.
did get also just show you a little bit here, and we did also get in that ruling, actually, we got the prayer answered, and then we also got
Yep.
in that ruling, I was able to put in there our grievances to the government. And I said the other aspects included a challenge to a number of government initiatives. Now, the Oreo team, we all wrote this together. The Oreo team and me, we sat up all night to get this in. And it was very difficult. And she said that the other aspects included a challenge to a number of government initiatives, which she argued were being introduced in a way that amounted to psychological waterboarding. She confirmed that amongst those complaints were those listed as grievances in her earlier memorandum, which by way of summary included complaints about the Marsden Point refinery, the entry of the government into the United Nations Declarations of Rights of Indigenous People, the government's Three Waters proposals, some allegations against Judith Collins. I was talking about LexisNexis, I think. What is described as a 50% unelected Maori parliament. She'd have allegations concerning the New Zealand health system, health department, and the dividing up of it in accordance with race. The establishment of two Mormon temples, which was endangering the safety of the Protestant religion. The teaching of false history education and non-heterosexual promotion to children. Geez, Sharon. Aren't we clever? The taking of farm. Yeah, we said that. The taking of farmland and strict regulation of natural areas under the Resource Management Act. The disarming of Protestants of their firearms. The Terrorism Act. The Sustainable Development Goals as required by the United Nations, and an allegation concerning LexisNexis. It's all in our court case, Sharon. It's all there.
It certainly is.
And then we got all our prayers, and we got the second and fourth prayer answered in the Weather Act. And we now, so if we get let down with this, we're probably, of course, we're most likely to fight on. There's many avenues. It never ends there. So we've still got Justice Brown sitting in the Supreme Court. There's many roads that we can take when we get this ruling, because this ruling is only at appeals. And I think that I could still go in there. So, but even if I can't, don't worry, because we're on the Waitangi Tribunal now, and we're talking with the Cabinet Office. And, geez, you know, I ain't mucking around here, Sharon. We're not mucking around, Kate Floss and the Oreo team. We ain't mucking around here, are we?
You're just flying.
Eh?
You're just flying. You just boomed through that, didn't you?
Yeah.
But I mean, it took long enough to get there, Kate.
Eh?
What, 3.5 years it took us? 3.5 years it took us.
And then, it's taken us a very long time and a lot of night, all day and all night, and many, many things that we've had to do, hasn't it, Sharon? But we have achieved great things, and I expect many more great things to come. Yeah. And the Bill of Rights 1688 has not been used in 50 years. We've never had an Anglo Saxon person ever get into the Waitangi Tribunal for anything. So presently we are sat at the Waitangi Tribunal waiting for their answer, and they will answer. So we're definitely making a lot of a lot of waves here. I must get that name changed, though. I'll get right into them tomorrow.
Yes.
So we've still got a lot of work to do. We're not ending there. So the ruling's coming in tomorrow at 2 o'clock, which is, what's the time there now, Sharon?
Well, we're on Wednesday morning now. It's 12:18 a.m.
12:18. So over here it's 7:18. So it'll be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 5 hours ahead. So that 2 o'clock,
yeah.
2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock. It's going to come in at 9 o'clock my time. And 2 o'clock your time back.
9.
If you go and talk to Maxine, it'll be up on the it'll be up on the appeals court website. It might even be on the NZLII. I might be the sixth.
Wow.
Might be on the NZLI, but I think it'll be on the court. And Maxine will know how to find it. So I'll be working. So I won't be here until you'll have to be awake very late at night, because I won't get home. I don't get home till about 5 o'clock. So it'll be about 10 or 11 o'clock your time that I get home from work. So
Fine, that's fine.
So you can either wait for me and open it together with me, or you can go and get in touch with Maxine and ask her to help you to find it.
I will. I'm going to do both.
Eh?
I'm going to do both.
Yeah, do both. Do both.
I'm going to do both.
Yeah, do both. Oh, I'm so scared. All right, so I'm going to start. Is there anything? I'm going to start the video, but I won't turn off the thing, but I'll start the video, Sharon. So, is there anything that you want to be saying before we close up?
Just on the whānau, Pākehā being whānau, they definitely are. They certainly are. Because if it wasn't for the Pākehā whānau, I wouldn't be here. As I said, I've got 3 white whānau on my side, on the Barrett side, the De Villiers side, and the Spencer side.
And the Spencers.
So,
are the Spencers, are they Irish?
I don't care what any other Māori says. We are Maoripeans. We are.
We
Do
really
they like it or
are
not?
Maoripeans.
We are. We are.
There's no doubt about
And
it.
that's how close we are. And I agree with Winston. He's part Scottish. He's part Scottish. So when it comes to Maoripeans, I would like for us to use Maoripeans, because it differentiates from Māori and Pacifica. Not that I've got anything against Pacifica, but it wasn't Pacifica that helped us build our country today.
You know, that's right, Sharon. And the fact of the matter is that they don't know our history. It doesn't matter. They don't. Because they don't have the whakapapa on both sides back to that time. And they're not interested in learning about the Anglo whakapapa. But you cannot have a New Zealand Maori history without having the Anglo whakapapa included. It just is not possible. They're trying desperately to make movies that only have New Zealand Maori and no Anglo people, none whatsoever, and they're not able to do it. They're not, because we've been together for too long.
I tell you what, and the reason why I'm not against Pacific Island. I'm not against Pacific Islanders. My 2 sisters married Pacific Islanders, Tongans. And for me, they're still my family. But we never built the country with them, is what I'm saying. We've always built it, we've always been together with Pākehā. Went to war with Pākehā, worked with Pākehā. I don't care what anybody says, I'm Maoripean.
I just love that name, and it is true because they have another country that they are very, they're more allegiated to that, and it's a completely different culture to our New Zealand culture. Their culture is not the same as ours. It really isn't. And so, but for those ones that are married in and have children, that are Maori and Pacifica children, they have to choose their allegiance. They're either going to be allegiant to New Zealand and behave as New Zealanders and be absolutely and totally allegiant to New Zealand like we are, or they can be allegiant to their island home that they call home, or they can keep one foot in each one. But if they're going to do that, then they can't, then they're not really New Zealanders, because they're not allegiant to protecting the borders of our country, even against their own islands, because the islands have turned to America. That is the fact. And they've all teamed up together, and I don't think they are allegiant to New Zealand. I think that their goal is to take New Zealand, and I don't think that that's right, because all the years we've supported them, all the money that we've ever made, we've always shared to those islands. Whenever they have had a problem, we Anglo people have had their back. There is not a time that they have had any problem that they haven't. They look to New Zealand and they say, what are you going to do? We're in trouble. What are you going to do to help us? They don't look to America. They don't look to, they look to New Zealand. Now, if they, and then what are they doing when they're flooding our country, destroying our natural culture of the Maoripean people, which is the Anglo and New Zealand? When you destroy that, what you're doing is destroying, you're even destroying our English language. English language is a multi-billion-dollar empire. Why would the islanders want to destroy that? That doesn't make sense. So, as far as I'm concerned, Sharon, they're either allegiant to New Zealand or they're not. And if they're not allegiant to New Zealand and they're allegiant to that UN and all of that crap that has said that our Anglo Maoripean whānau and whakapapa is to be thrown out of the country, or to be trashed in the country, or to be beaten up, or to be stabbed. This is what they're advocating. Anybody that's advocating, you get out. Even Winston Peters has just said it. You get out. You get out, because we have built this country together. And we're going to freaking fight for it, Sharon. We're going to fight. We're going to fight hard. So we're only just getting started, Sharon. Our Maoripean team. Yeah, we're going to do it together. So that's all we got for you. If I turn off that video. Hang on, get my best smile. So this is Tamati Wakanene and Hobson. So, and you know what? And I'll just say this too, Sharon. We are no longer going to denigrate on either side our ancestors that built this country. Our ancestors, you can see them here. Here's Tamati Wakanene, here's Hobson, and here's the King George V of England. Here they are together. Our ancestors walked these lands together and made decisions for our future of how this country was to be governed. And there's not a person alive on this land, not a person that's got a right. I don't even care if they're descendant of these chiefs. They're not pure blood, and they have got no right to desecrate and remove what our ancestors together put in place for the nation of New Zealand. New Zealand is what they called it. New Zealand. And these people that are trying to denigrate and desecrate our ancestors, our language, our place names, our monuments from either side, those people should just pack their bags and go, because they have caused a lot of trouble between us, and we're not going to let them anymore, are we, Sharon? No more.
No, we're not.
No, because we're
That's what we've been fighting for, haven't we?
It is, Sharon. It is, Sharon. We're just great. That's all I'm going to say on that.